She tattooed his initials on her back days after our wedding, then lied it was just a design. Tell me, how do you come back from something like that? How do you look at someone you just vowed your life to, someone you promised to grow old with, and realize that before the ink on your marriage certificate had even dried, she had already carved another man's mark into her skin? I can still remember the first time I saw it. We'd been married less than 2 weeks. We were still in that phase where people call you newlyweds with a smile, still receiving congratulations and little cards in the mail, still riding on the glow of the wedding day. Everyone saw us as this happy, perfect couple, just starting out, and maybe, for a few days, I let myself believe it too. It happened on an ordinary evening. She had just come out of the shower, towel wrapped around her hair, her back bare as she bent over the dresser to grab something. At first I thought it was just a smudge, a shadow cast by the light, but when she straightened up, I saw it clearly. Black ink, fresh and bold, just below her shoulder blade. 2 letters, his initials. My stomach twisted. I blinked, thinking maybe I was imagining it. Maybe it was temporary. Maybe it was nothing. But it wasn't nothing. The lines were clean, the skin around it slightly red and raised. The kind of redness that comes from a fresh needle, not from some old tattoo she'd always had. "What's that?" I asked, my voice too sharp, too fast. She froze, her hand lingering on the dresser. Slowly she turned, pulling the strap of her tank top over it, as if that would erase what I'd just seen. "What do you mean?" I pointed. "On your back. That tattoo. What is it?" Her eyes flickered, just for a second, and then she smiled. That smile, that carefully crafted, practiced smile, like she had rehearsed it for moments exactly like this. "Oh, that." She laughed lightly, too lightly. "It's just a design, something abstract. I thought it looked cool, just a design." I repeated, my voice hollow. "It looks like letters. It looks like—" She cut me off quickly. "You're imagining things. Honestly, you always overthink. It's just art. You know how I've always wanted something small, something meaningful. It's nothing really." But it wasn't nothing, because I knew those letters. I'd seen them written 1,000 times before, in texts, in emails, in the corner of his notepad when he and I once worked together. His initials, his name, the man she had always called just a friend. And now his initials were on my wife's back. I didn't press it then. I wanted to. My blood was boiling, my chest tight, my mind screaming to call her out. But something stopped me. Maybe it was shock. Maybe it was the part of me still clinging desperately to the image of the woman I thought I'd married. Or maybe it was something else. Something colder. Because in that moment, as she stood there smiling, lying to my face about a tattoo she couldn't hide, I realized something. If I confronted her now, she'd deny it. She'd twist it, gaslight me, turn the argument back on me. And maybe, just maybe, she'd even convince me I was crazy. So instead, I nodded. I forced a smile. "All right," I said softly. "Just a design." She looked relieved, almost too relieved, and walked away humming, as if the conversation had ended. But inside, it hadn't. Inside, it had just begun. That night I couldn't sleep. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment of our relationship. The late nights she explained away as work, the texts she angled her phone away from, the sudden need to go shopping alone, the way her mood shifted whenever his name came up. All of it, all the little things I had brushed off, came crashing down on me. The tattoo wasn't just ink, it was a confession she thought she could pass off as art. In the days that followed, I watched her more closely. She covered it constantly, wearing high-back tops, avoiding swimsuits, brushing off any mention of it. But sometimes, when she thought I wasn't looking, I'd catch her touching it, her fingers tracing the lines gently, almost reverently, and I knew she wasn't tracing just a design. She was tracing his name. The anger that built in me wasn't the kind that explodes. It wasn't shouting or slamming doors. It was quieter, more dangerous. It was the kind of anger that waits, that sharpens itself in silence, that doesn't burn out. It freezes. I started digging. I checked her messages when she left her phone unattended. I found old conversations, Long threads of inside jokes, confessions, flirty lines she had sworn never existed. I checked her emails, her social media, her browsing history. And there he was, everywhere, like a shadow stitched into the fabric of her life. But what hit me hardest wasn't just the proof of him. It was the timing. The messages lined up perfectly with the weeks before our wedding. While I was booking venues, writing vows, planning a honeymoon, she was booking tattoo appointments, sending him pictures of designs, asking, "Do you like this one? Would this make you smile?" She carved his initials into her skin while planning to stand at an altar and say "Ma," and she thought she could hide it. Every day I held it in, my smile practiced, my voice steady. She thought I was none the wiser. She thought she had fooled me. But the truth was, with every lie she told, I grew stronger. With every excuse she made, I grew colder. With every glance she gave me, I saw the ink on her back, burning like a brand of betrayal. I knew one thing for certain. She thought she had won. She thought she had written her secret onto her body and locked it away from me forever. But what she didn't know was that secrets have a way of becoming stories, and I was about to write the ending to hers. When I saw that tattoo, fresh and unmistakable, I thought the sting of betrayal would fade with time. But instead it grew sharper every day, like a shard of glass lodged deeper with every breath. She moved through our house as if nothing had changed, smiling, humming, kissing me lightly on the cheek before work, while I lived with the knowledge that her skin bore another man's name, not in theory, not in whispers, but in ink, permanent. The longer I stayed silent, the more reckless she became. That's the thing about liars. They mistake silence for blindness. They think if you don't confront them right away, you must not know, or worse, you must not care. But I knew. God, I knew. And I cared more than she could imagine. The difference was, I wasn't about to give her the satisfaction of an argument she could wriggle her way out of. No shouting, no crying, no "you misunderstood." No, I was going to wait until the stage was big enough, the lights bright enough, that when the truth came out, there would be no shadows left for her to hide in. That stage presented itself in the most ironic way possible. Our post-wedding reception. A month after the ceremony, her parents insisted on throwing another celebration, a grand dinner with extended family and friends who couldn't make it to the wedding. A second chance to show off the happy couple, the perfect match, as people kept calling us. She was ecstatic. She threw herself into planning outfits, menus, playlists. She loved attention, thrived on it, and the idea of being paraded as a glowing bride again filled her with energy. I let her talk about floor arrangements and champagne towers, nodding in all the right places, while inside I was piecing together something else entirely. I gathered everything the photos of the tattoo taken one night when she slept face down, and the strap of her shirt had slipped just enough for me to capture it. The screenshots of her messages to him, asking if he liked the design, promising him it was forever. The receipts of the tattoo appointment she'd hidden under a fake name, paid for in cash, but stupidly linked to our joint card when she bought the aftercare cream. Every shred of proof I tucked neatly into a folder, not for me, not for her. For them, the audience she'd lied to, the family she'd toasted with, the friends who had cheered for us. If she wanted to wear her betrayal in ink, then I was going to make sure everyone read it loud and clear. The night of the reception arrived. The hall glowed with lights, music pulsed low, laughter filled the air. She looked radiant, as always, her dress shimmering, her smile wide, her arm looped through mine like we were the happiest couple alive. She kissed my cheek when people congratulated us, laughed too loudly at toasts, leaned into me like we were untouchable. But every time she turned, every time her back shifted beneath the fabric of her dress, I thought of those initials etched into her skin, his mark, not mine, not ours. After dinner, as dessert plates clinked and my father tapped his glass for attention, speeches began. Her father spoke first, beaming with pride, talking about how lucky I was to marry his daughter, how beautiful she looked, how strong our love was. The guests applauded, glasses raised, eyes shining, and then someone called my name. Speech, a cousin shouted. Let's hear from the groom. She beamed at me, her hand slipping into mine, squeezing, expecting sweet words about love and devotion, about how grateful I was. Her eyes sparkled as if daring me to make her shine brighter. I stood slowly, glass in one hand, the folder in the other. "Thank you all for being here tonight," I began, my voice steady, calm. "It means more than I can say to celebrate with all of you, to stand here surrounded by family and friends, celebrating what should be the beginning of an honest, loyal, loving marriage." Cheers rose. Smiles spread. She squeezed my hand again, smiling proudly. "And in the spirit of honesty," I continued, pulling the first photo from the folder, "there's something you should all see." The room shifted instantly. Laughter stilled. Glasses lowered. I held the photo up high enough for everyone to see. The tattoo bold and fresh, his initials carved into her back. Gasps rippled through the hall. A murmur rose. She froze, her smile collapsing, her face draining of color. "This," I said, my voice cutting through the whispers, "is the tattoo my wife got just days after our wedding. She told me it was just a design, but we all know these aren't just shapes. These are his initials, the initials of the man she's been with behind my back." The silence that followed was deafening. Her mother's hand flew to her mouth. My father's face darkened. Friends glanced at each other in shock. She stammered, stepping forward, her voice breaking. No, it's not what it looks like. It's just art. It doesn't mean." I cut her off, pulling out the next piece. Screenshots of her messages, her words glowing on the screen. "I want you with me forever. This way, I'll always carry you with me." Another message. "It's our little secret. He'll never know." I laid them on the table one by one, the paper slapping against the wood like gunshots. She lied. Not once, not twice. Over and over. She carved another man into her skin while promising her life to me. The room erupted. Gasps, whispers, curses. She crumpled into tears, her hands trembling, her eyes wild, darting around the room for someone to save her, but no one moved. Her father sat stiff, his face ashen. Her mother sobbed quietly. My cousins muttered under their breath, shaking their heads. I looked at her, tears streaming down her face, makeup streaking, her body trembling. She whispered, "Please, not here, not like this. We can fix this." "Not here," I said sharply. "You branded yourself for him days after marrying me. You lied to me in our own home. You thought you could hide it forever. This," I gestured to the room, to the horrified faces, "this is the only place the truth belongs." She dropped to her knees then, begging, sobbing, her words spilling out. "I'm sorry. I was confused. It didn't mean anything. Please don't do this." But her sobs weren't for me. They were for the crowd, the witnesses, the people whose opinion mattered to her more than my heart ever did. I gathered the papers, slipped them back into the folder, and raised my glass one final time. "Here's to truth," I said, my voice cold, unwavering, "because without it, there's no love." And I drank. The silence behind me as I walked out was heavier than thunder. The fallout was immediate. By morning, everyone knew. Word spread through family, friends, co-workers. She called me endlessly, her voicemails swinging between apologies, fury and begging. I didn't answer. He never reached out, coward that he was. But I heard through whispers that his wife left him, taking their kids. Her family cut ties with her. Embarrassed, ashamed. Friends distanced themselves. She lost everything in the span of days. Her forever secret etched into her skin for everyone to see. No longer romantic, but grotesque. And me, I walked away lighter than I had felt in years. The silence of my apartment was heavy at first, but it was pure. No lies, no shadows. Sometimes when I think back, I see it all. The way she smiled at me on our wedding day. The way she kissed me while already planning the tattoo. The way she stood frozen in that hall as her secret collapsed around her. She thought she was clever. She thought she was untouchable. But the truth has a way of cutting deeper than any needle, and she had carved her own destruction into her skin.